Thunder shook the heavens as the fated day of awakening finally dawned. Deep within the S-rank lair of death, the world's first dungeon appeared. For decades, this blue star abyss remained an unconquerable nightmare. Countless legends perished within its depths, yet Su Ming challenged the lair alone. Against all odds, he slew the apex god-tier aberrant beast. But the survivors waiting there didn't offer praise. They demanded he surrender the divine artifact and embrace his end. The god of massacre, one sneered. Your legendary luck has finally run dry today. Another mocked that as a hero of humanity. He deserved a swift death provided he revealed the divine artifact's location. Su Ming tightened his grip on his blade, his aura flaring as he spoke with chilling calm. He never imagined his own allies would stage an ambush the very second the dungeon was cleared, all for a single treasure. Was this the plan all along? He demanded, as Jiang Tang stepped forward, brandishing a massive, glowing weapon. Jiang Tang raised his steel high, barking an order for Su Ming to surrender the artifact immediately. He claimed their brotherhood earned Su Ming mercy. He wouldn't kill him, only shatter his powers forever. Su Ming let out a hollow laugh, cursing the blindness that had clouded his judgment for years. Since age 18, he had viewed Jiang Tang as a blood brother, bleeding beside him through countless wars. I never realized how venomous you truly were, Su Ming growled, hoisting his sword as overwhelming power erupted. He dared them to test the Ring of Defiance if they were truly desperate for a taste of its power. Come and take it, he challenged, though I doubt any of you cowards possess the strength. A lackey trembled, gasping that the crushing pressure was undoubtedly the signature of a true divine artifact. Kill him now, another shouted, urging the mob to strike before Su Ming could hide the treasure forever. Jiang Tang hesitated, warning that charging blindly against the artifact's raw power would be a death sentence. Even so, a sinister smirk played on his lips. Their grand scheme was nearly complete. Suddenly, a voice called from above, leaving Su Ming stunned as a familiar figure descended through the chaos. A woman rushed forward, throwing her arms around Su Ming. "What are you doing here?" he asked, bewildered. She claimed she'd heard whispers of a conspiracy and rushed to his side, her voice trembling with feigned worry. Su Ming offered a weak smile, reassuring her that he was safe now that the divine artifact was his. He glared at the traitors, wondering how Jiang Tang's group had tracked his exact location so flawlessly. In that split second of distraction, the woman drove a lethal strike directly into Su Ming's heart. Blood sprayed as Su Ming gasped in disbelief, his eyes searching hers for a reason why. Jiang Tang roared with triumph, declaring the final catalyst set. "Activate the Imprisonment Array," he commanded. A massive magic circle erupted beneath Su Ming, binding him in chains of ancient light. He recognized the cursed seal instantly. It was Ren Xiaoman's signature. Had her betrayal started years ago? Jiang Tang boasted that this formation was crafted specifically to nullify Su Ming, severing his connection to his power. Ren Xiaoman offered a cold apology, confessing she'd only played the lover's part on Jiang Tang's orders. She admitted that his 9-star talent made him the perfect tool to retrieve the divine artifact for them. Pure rage consumed Su Ming as he let out a primal scream, desperately thrashing against the unbreakable cage. But it was futile. Jiang Tang ordered the execution, but a skeletal hand burst from the earth. Ji Yao appeared, summoning spirits to block them. Su Ming stared in shock at the newcomer. "Ji Yao? Why are you risking your life for me?" Ji Yao glanced back, begging him not to lose hope. "Don't let these spineless cowards win," she cried. Jiang Tang laughed at the new prey. "Even if an emperor descended, no one leaves this place alive." With a murderous roar, the mob surged forward, weapons bared for the final slaughter. Jiang Tang led the charge, vowing to annihilate anyone foolish enough to stand between him and ultimate power. Su Ming screamed a warning for Ji Yao's flank, but Jiang Tang struck her down with a cold. Nothing personal. Su Ming watched in horror as his only remaining ally collapsed under the brutal assault. Jiang Tang loomed over Su Ming, mocking him for worrying about others while his own life hung by a thread. He leveled his celestial blade at Su Ming's throat, eyes gleaming. Su Ming struggled desperately, but the chains were tightening. Jiang Tang sneers, demanding the divine artifact while mockingly offering a chance at mercy if he complies. Fury consumes Su Ming. Shattering his shackles, he roars, "You bastards," and ignites his devastating divine explosion technique. Zung. Tang leaps back to evade the blast. A lackey gasps, identifying the power as a legendary divine tier technique. Mangled and bleeding, Su Ming crawls to Ji Yao. "Why did you come?" he chokes. "I've failed you so many times." Ji Yao's trembling hand reaches for his face. "If we must fall," she whispers, "then let us die together." Suddenly, out of the blue, a celestial blade plunges from the heavens. Su Ming gathers her close and makes a final, blood-soaked vow. "I, the god of massacre, swear this. If I am reborn, I will hunt you all to the edge of existence." Ren Xiaoman watches in horror, shouting, "What are you doing?" Jiang Tang's eyes widen. "The fool. He's dragging the divine artifact into the death layer with him. Standing at the abyss, Jiang Tang screams for his lackeys to seize the boy and the divine artifact immediately. With a final taunt, Ming plunges into the void. You want the ring? Then come and get it. In the darkness of the fall, the divine artifact erupts in a blinding, transcendent light. Consciousness fades into a soft glow. Am I dead? Ming wonders, until he opens his eyes to a familiar sight. A voice booms through the hall, announcing the 127th awakening ceremony of Xuanzang Academy. Wang Qiang, life type enchanter, innate 3-star attribute. The announcement echoes across the crowded stage. The crowd murmurs in disappointment, noting that most awakened students today lack combat-ready professions. Ming's heart races. This sensation. It's all too familiar. Could the legends of regression be true? He scans the room, stunned. He's 18 again, standing at the very moment his destiny was first forged. He remembers Wang Qiang's path perfectly. In his past life, the chubby student was also a mere enchanter. Next would be Li Shengyang, the warrior who rose that day, followed by a series of fated results. He recalls Li Shengyang's warrior class, Qian Yu's humiliating failure, and Song Li's success as a combat mage. Thus, right on cue, the presenter calls out the next candidate, the student Li Shengyang. Successful awakening. Profession: warrior. Innate 2-star attribute. Next, as predicted, Qian Yu leaves the stage in shame. Finally, Song Li is declared a combat mage. The timeline is repeating exactly as Ming remembered. The realization hits him. Everything is happening as before. A surge of joy consumes him. He is truly back. The memories of blood and betrayal burn in his mind as he looks at the faces around him. This second chance is heaven's gift to rewrite every regret. Suddenly, the students gasp at a shocking sight. Jiang Tang steps up. The air shifts as he begins awakening an incredibly rare hidden combat class. Magic Hammer Warrior, innate 8-star attribute. A legendary genius has been born, leaving the crowd speechless. Expected of the Zhang family's young master, the crowd whispers, awestruck by his incredible noble status. Born of a war emperor and a magic warrior, his potential is terrifying. Ming watches him with cold eyes. As the presenter celebrates the Academy's new 8-star star, a sudden tap on the shoulder breaks Ming's focus. He spins around in surprise, realizing someone has been standing right behind him this whole time. It's Ji Yao. There you are, she smiles. I've been looking everywhere for you, Ming. Ming is speechless. Congratulations, he manages to say. She tilts her head, confused by his early praise. Ji Yao is puzzled. Congratulations for what? My turn hasn't even come up on stage yet, she giggles. Ming knows her fate. You'll see, he says softly. Just wait until you step onto that stage. Next candidate, Ji Yao. The presenter's voice cuts through the air, and she nervously moves forward. Standing before the celestial star, she prepares to test her destiny. Place your hand here, the presenter instructs. As her fingers graze the stone, she feels a strange, ancient resonance begin to hum through the hall. The presenter's eyes bulge. Another hidden class, Ji Yao, has awakened as a 7-star necromancer. The students erupt into chaos. This year's batch is legendary. 2 hidden classes have appeared already. Ming smirks. Everything is happening just as he remembers. Now, the stage is finally his. The presenter's voice booms, calling for Ming. After witnessing 2 hidden classes, the crowd believes a third miracle is simply impossible. Everyone knows Ming is a mere orphan, but in the Dragon Country, the awakening ceremony decides fate. At 18, every soul enters the ceremony to transcend humanity and become an awakened. The awakened rewrite reality, gaining absolute power, legendary equipment, and wealth to change destiny. But at the same time, they must face gargantuan beasts and apocalyptic calamities amidst endless, soul-crushing challenges. Standing before the celestial star, Ming recalls his past life surviving on meager scholarships. Then came the day of his first awakening. Heaven's favor descended with a divine phenomenon. He had awakened a legendary 9-star attribute, the god of slaughter. Therefore, he touches the celestial star, determined to make the world see him with new eyes. The presenter freezes in shock, sensing a terrifying surge of energy from the star. Could this be a 9-star genius, or perhaps something even more monstrous? The crowd watches, breathless. Is it truly possible for a third hidden profession to emerge? Ming reaches for the runes but stops. Before him floats a divine artifact, the Ring of Rebellion. Did this relic follow him through time? Suddenly, a shimmering system screen flickers to life. The strongest god system has bound. A brand new profession is being etched into his soul. With that, the process ends. He has obtained the mythical grade profession, the god of the sword. A colossal, sword-shaped aura erupts from the celestial star, piercing the very heavens. The presenter gasps. What kind of monstrous transformation is this boy undergoing? If it's a combat class, it'll be legendary, one student whispers in awe. But if it's a life profession, this whole spectacle is a total tragedy. Are you stupid? Another snaps. A phenomenon this grand could never belong to a life profession. Jiang Tang narrows his eyes, watching Su Ming closely. Why has the boy stopped moving? Su Ming is reeling. This time he's the god of the sword, not the god of slaughter. He taps the golden interface, realizing this path is entirely different from his past life. Identity confirmed. Target Su Ming recognized. The system pulses with golden light. It continues. Profession, god of the sword. Golden talent, universal sublimation. Su Ming is stunned. This golden talent far surpasses the 9-star level of his previous life. He smirks. With this, he will surely surpass the legend of the god of slaughter. He opens the skill interface, but the system delivers a crushing blow. No skills awakened. He can't believe it. Frantically, he searches the menus, desperate for even one active skill. The spectators whisper. Su Ming looks visibly shaken. What is happening on that stage? Desperation sets in. He has 0 skills. Is the system mocking him? Is he still just as weak as before? System. Feedback protocol initiating. Guidance will resume shortly. An error occurs. A ring appears on his hand, glowing with a mysterious, ancient light. Notification. The divine ring of rebellion has been successfully identified. A massive radiance explodes outward. The energy fluctuations are terrifyingly intense. The presenter stammers in shock. Is the awakening finally complete? He freezes in horror. Su Ming's innate talent is an impossible, legendary 10 stars. He announces the truth. Su Ming has awakened a hidden profession. The sword controller. The crowd is stunned by his 10-star innate attribute, a level reserved for the elite. Students gasp. Jiang Tang's 8-star hammer was scary, but 10 stars is truly legendary. The old man notes, this year is a golden age, featuring multiple hidden classes and a 10-star genius. He also explains that while sword controllers are often seen as weak, Su Ming's 10-star talent ensures his future potential will be absolutely limitless. The director then decides to reward Su Ming with a set of premium cultivation items. As he walks away, Su Ming hears the bitter whispers of his jealous classmates. Some call him a waste, claiming the sword controller is the bottom of all swordsman classes. Furthermore, they argue that swordsmen are strictly meant for close-range combat, since a sword controller must split focus between physical and magical attacks, and even though they can strike from afar, their power becomes mediocre as their limited resources are spread far too thin. Su Ming ignores them until Ji Yao rushes over to offer her sincere congratulations. The main character smiles, telling her he's genuinely happy for her success as well. Ji Yao dismisses the gossip, believing his 10-star talent will crush any class weaknesses. She is certain that with his incredible potential, he will have no problem succeeding. He thanks her, admitting he never took the harsh words of the others to heart. Their low expectations are perfect. Suddenly, the director calls Ren Xiaoman forward. Jiang Tang cheers, certain she will succeed just like the other top students. Ji Yao notes the school beauty's popularity, though the reaction was expected. Seeing the main character leave silently, she calls out that the ceremony isn't over. He doesn't care. In his past life, this woman exploited and then betrayed him. As she steps up to discover her fate, Su Ming recalls his vow. He will have revenge for her cold-blooded betrayal. Reaching the city center, he notes everything feels the same except for his new power. He opens his system to find total concealment, a skill that can rewrite his identity. Su Ming realizes this is one of the 4 legendary skills from his past life. He looks down, carefully observing the mysterious ring still clutched in his hand. The system loads the Ring of Rebellion, granting him the God of Slaughter's inheritance. He's confused. How does his God of the Sword class possess God of Slaughter abilities? He quickly opens his status window to check his current power. At level 1, he boasts 10 points in every stat, including his incredible luck. His profession is revealed, the unique, legendary grade God of the Sword. His arsenal includes God of Slaughter Strike, Divine Shadow Step, and Eye of Perception. He knows that great wealth invites danger. Possessing such power makes him a target. To avoid being used again, he realizes his current strength isn't enough to stay safe. He must hide his true identity and seize this second chance at life. Based on his past memories, the Novice Dungeon Challenge will begin the day after the awakening ceremony ends. That dungeon is too easy. To level up faster, he needs a true challenge. He plans to hunt the hardest boss, but first, he needs a worthy weapon. Meanwhile, in a luxury hotel, Jiang Tang and Ren Xiaoman share a secret moment. She playfully scolds him for being so bold, bringing her to a place like this right after the ceremony ends. Jiang Tang growls, telling her to drop the subject since Su Ming completely hijacked his moment of glory. Ren Xiaoman tells him to cool his temper, but she notes that even though Su Ming is a mere sword controller, his awakened stats are off the charts, making him a highly valuable asset for the future. Confused by her sudden interest, Jiang Tang asks what she's really getting at. Ren Xiaoman slides her phone across the table, urging him to look. Jiang Tang's eyes widen in sheer disbelief at the data on the screen. She whispers that with just a little bit of bait, they can reel Su Ming in and make him their ultimate pawn. A few hours later, deep in the city's neon heart, Su Ming arrives at a luxury plaza where a hostess welcomes him to the 12th floor weapon wing, wishing him a successful hunt for gear. Stepping through the sliding glass doors, Su Ming scans the crowd, realizing the surrounding schools must have finished their ceremonies as well. The hall is packed with rookies desperately gearing up for tomorrow's high-stakes novice dungeon trial. He overhears a student begging for a high-tier blade, but his friend shuts him down. As newly awakened low ranks, they could never afford such legendary steel. They're told to just accept their fate and work like dogs to survive. Su Ming then spots a gathering crowd, huddled around a blade known as the Tyrant's Frost Sword, supposedly forged by a top-tier master. Even with its reputation, the onlookers gasp at the staggering price tag of 1 million coins. Su Ming scoffs internally, knowing the sword is a total fake from his past life memories. That gang of counterfeiters was eventually busted, but his thoughts are interrupted by a sharp call to wait. A woman flanked by several towering bodyguards approaches, demanding to know if he is the famous Su Ming. Intrigued by the sudden confrontation, he demands to know who's asking. She smoothly presents a business card, introducing herself as Jiang Lan, the vice director of the prestigious Jiang'an conglomerate. Su Ming studies the card with a cold gaze, mentioning that her name sounds vaguely familiar. Jiang Lan speaks up again, offering to bankroll his entire shopping spree today on behalf of her company, provided he does her a small favor. Suspicion flares in Su Ming's eyes as he asks exactly what kind of favor she expects. At her signal, a bodyguard produces a photograph, thrusting the screen toward Su Ming. Jiang Lan explains that the girl is her younger sister, Jiang Yuncheng, who attends the same school as him. She reveals that her sister also awakened, successfully today. After digging into Su Ming's 10-star talent, she's convinced that tomorrow's novice dungeon will be a walk in the park for someone of his caliber. Therefore, Jiang Lan points out that only new recruits can enter that specific dungeon, a fact she knows Su Ming understands well. She wants him to act as a personal bodyguard, ensuring her sister clears the challenge safely. He considers the deal for a heartbeat before giving a flat refusal, turning to walk away without a second thought. Jiang Lan is stunned by his arrogance, shouting that as long as he says yes, he can have any weapon in the shop. To her, a poor student shouldn't be able to resist such a golden ticket. Su Ming stops and points to the Tyrant's Frost Sword, claiming he wants that specific 1 million coin blade. Jiang Lan's composure cracks as she accuses him of being difficult, questioning if he truly believes that hunk of metal is worth such a fortune with its current stats. Su Ming retorts, reminding her that she offered him anything he wanted. If she's getting cold feet now, the deal is dead. He coldly adds that some things in this world simply can't be bought with shortcuts and money. He tells Jiang Lan to let her sister face the trial with her own strength tomorrow instead. Jiang Lan restrains her bodyguards from attacking, finding his defiance interesting. She decides to let his insolence slide for now. As the crowd reels from Su Ming's confrontation with the Jiang'an elites, his phone buzzes with an unexpected notification. Opening the message, he sees the sender is none other than Ren Xiaoman. The text reads, "Didn't you always say you loved me?" She claims to have had a change of heart and wants him to meet her tonight on the school rooftop. Su Ming stares at the screen. It's the exact same trap from his past life. Even without his old profession, Ren Xiaoman's cruelty remains unchanged. He remembers this moment vividly. In his previous life, he had blindly walked right into her hands. Su Ming steps into the shop and seeks out a clerk. She offers assistance instantly, while he eyes the raw weapon stones. Can these truly yield high-tier blades? The clerk nods, confirming these mystical stones hold a chance for rare silver-grade equipment. She emphasizes that he must understand one crucial thing. It's all pure luck. Most stones hide trash, so she urges him to consider his choice carefully. Su Ming smirks. This is exactly what I'm looking for. The clerk is baffled. Su Ming explains that buying expensive silver gear is a waste when it'll soon be obsolete. Betting on a cheap stone is the only logical choice for a master. To others, it looks like a gamble. To Su Ming, it's a certainty. He possesses the legacy of his past life as the god of slaughter. His second awakened talent is active, the eye of perception. These eyes possess the divine power to see the truth. He can perceive the fundamental data of all matter in existence. After analyzing the stones, he picks one. Why spend thousands of advent coins on standard silver weapons? Snatching a rare blade for a mere 50 coins is the ultimate bargain. As a broke student once more, this is his only path to power. Suddenly, a mocking voice sneers. Isn't this the brat who rejected the Jiang'an conglomerate? A group enters, mocking the useless rock in Su Ming's hand. They think he's just gambling blindly. The blonde punk scoffs, having expected more from someone who acted so confident earlier, rejecting a conglomerate's favor just to waste time with garbage stones. To them, he's nothing more than a delusional idiot. Su Ming recognizes him immediately, Yang Ding, a spoiled bully who terrorized students in his past life. Su Ming stares him down. 5,000 Advent coins says this stone holds a silver weapon. Do you dare? The bully's exchange looks before erupting into fits of laughter. They truly believe Su Ming is a complete fool. Yang Ding claims there's a 99% chance of failure. He loves taking free money. We'll see who's paying who, Su Ming retorts. A crowd gathers, eager to witness the reveal. Yang Ding sneers, doubting a pauper like Su Ming can even afford 5,000 coins. Su Ming activates his eye of perception, visualizes the hidden blade, and commands it to awaken. Yang Ding and his lackeys are frozen in shock as the stone shatters. As Su Ming's hand grips the hilt, the entire room falls into a stunned silence. The system chimes. Acquired. Silver grade, low rank, the black iron crimson edge sword. Its unique trait is Blood Drinker. It heals the wielder by absorbing the life force of its victims. Su Ming tests the weight. It's perfect for the carnage he has planned for tonight. A trembling Yang Ding tries to dismiss the miracle as nothing but pure luck. Su Ming just smirks. With a lifesteal effect, he won't even need a healer to survive the slaughter. He points the blood-red tip at the blonde punk. A bet is a bet. Hand over the coins. After transferring the 5,000 coins, Yang Ding glares, swearing he'll remember this face. Su Ming shrugs. Next time, don't pick fights you aren't prepared to lose. The clerk is speechless. It's been years since anyone successfully pulled a weapon from those stones. Su Ming calls out to her. He needs a matching scabbard, the one worth exactly 5,000 coins. She nods quickly, guiding the mysterious young master deeper into the shop. He purchases a silver-grade scabbard, which slashes weapon durability consumption by half. The crimson edge slides home. Su Ming feels the perfect balance of his new gear. Since he's currently low on funds, preserving this blade is vital for the trials ahead. Suddenly, a new prompt flashes. Does the user wish to open the hidden weapon materialization function? Not yet, he mutters, his eyes narrowing. He plans to take his blade and ascend its rank once more. After wandering the park for hours, Su Ming reflects on his current life. Although he awakened as the sword god, he lacks even a single usable class skill. Yet, hidden within his talent tree lies a monstrous original ability, sublimation of all things. It possesses the power to evolve any loot, be it combat skills, equipment, or rare scrolls. Any item can be refined through direct or indirect sublimation, though only once per object. With this talent alone, he truly embodies the golden grade power that the sword god represents. He activates the ability. The system chimes, sublimation successful. The weapon awakens with a terrifying bloodlust effect. It is now the Zhuan Steel Bloodseeker, a weapon of high-quality silver rank. Its Blood Drinker trait is lethal. Each strike or touch drains the enemy's life force to mend the wielder's wounds. The bloodlust effect is even more brutal. Upon every kill made with this blade, all his stats surge by 5 points for 30 seconds. Su Ming smiles, knowing every fallen foe will only make him more unstoppable. Thus, he materializes the weapon, certain that tomorrow's novice dungeon will be nothing more than a walk in the park. Night falls. Su Ming arrives at the meeting spot for Ren Xiaoman, his sword equipped and ready for what comes next. She notices him and turns with a smirk. Finally here? You're a bit late, Su Ming. But her smile vanishes into pure confusion. Without a word of greeting, Su Ming lunges at her. Ren Xiaoman screams in terror. Seeing him bury his sword into the ground, she shrieks, "What are you doing?" The main character exhales slowly. "I'm here for revenge," he says, shadows of a tragic past life flickering in his eyes. "What are you talking about?" she stammers, reminding him she had already accepted his confession. She pulls up their old messages, claiming she only asked him out because he begged to date her first. Su Ming pauses, his expression turning cold. "That was a different lifetime," he replies flatly. He remembers her the untouchable school beauty, always basking in the spotlight of everyone's gaze, and himself a lonely orphan who grew up in the shadows, never receiving a shred of attention. He never dreamed he'd talk to her, let alone receive her kindness just 2 days after the awakening ceremony. From that day forward, he drowned in her concern, the very attention he had craved his entire life. Every confession, every date, every intimate moment. He once cherished those memories above all else. "It was all a lie," he roars. He exposes her secret dealings with Jiang Tang, revealing how she only wanted to exploit his talent. Ren Xiaoman flinches in shock, but quickly tries to regain her composure. "Don't you dare speak such nonsense. You know exactly what I mean," Su Ming sneers. "The graceful goddess everyone loves is a fraud, a vain, despicable, shameless snake." Ren Xiaoman snaps, her face contorting with rage. How do you know that? She screams, calling him a pathetic orphan. She mocks him, saying he's nothing without his talent, and vows to make him regret insulting her. Su Ming invites her to try, but warns that her innocent reputation will crumble once her ties to Jiang Tang come to light. Blinded by fury, Ren Xiaoman loses all control. She lunges for the sword, but Su Ming watches with cold detachment. Everything is playing out exactly like his previous life. Her eyes widen in horror as a sinister red glow erupts from the blade. You always did love a sneak attack, Su Ming remarks. I've been waiting for this. He triggers the Blood Drinker ability. The sword locks onto its prey, ready to drain her life to fuel his own. As the power surges toward her, Su Ming's voice drops to a whisper. The trap was set the moment I chose you as my target. The impact hits her squarely in the face. Ren Xiaoman's agonizing scream echoes through the dark park. My face, my beautiful face is ruined, she wails. Su Ming only scoffs. You brought this upon yourself. He declares that his vengeance has only just begun. He'll let Jiang Tang be the one to finish her off. Yet, brief fragments of their past, the few happy moments flicker in his mind one last time. With a heavy heart, he sheathes his blade and walks away, leaving her broken and trembling on the cold ground. Su Ming tells Ren Xiaoman to inform Jiang Tang that he's ready to settle scores. That fresh cut is a warning. Before departing, Su Ming realizes this blade also severed the last of his lingering feelings. Suddenly, a notification appears. Accept your gift. It contains a marrow-strengthening pill, combat gear, and 10,000 Advent coins. The generous benefactor is none other than Director Wang. His message confirms it's an exclusive newbie package for a 10-star talent, meant to ensure total dominance in the dungeon. Fast forward to the next morning at exactly 6 o'clock. Su Ming inspects the marrow-strengthening pill, musing on the old man's surprising generosity. Without a second thought, he consumes the pill. He realizes the director pities his sword controller class and wants to compensate for his lost potential. System: Constitution plus 10. Experience plus 100. Energy explodes through his entire body. Success. Su Ming reaches level 2 and earns 10 free attribute points to spend. The system heralds his achievement. Now at level 2, his base stats begin to skyrocket. This breakthrough awakens his passive. Origin Sword Body, where the heart becomes the source of natural sword intent. Now, Su Ming can master any sword technique, completely bypassing all class and level restrictions. As expected of a 10-star talent, he smirks. Unlocking such a broken ability at level 2 is unprecedented. Brimming with confidence, he arrives at the Shanzong Academy dungeon area, ready to stun the world. Students begin swarming the entrance, annoying Su Ming as they desperately beg him to join their teams. He remembers these hypocrites mocked him yesterday. He coldly claims his team is already full. Ji Yao panics at his words, desperate to know if he truly has a team already. She admits she came at dawn just to be the first one to partner with him. Su Ming looks away and quietly confesses that he was lying about having a team. He explains his goal is far beyond mere rewards, and bringing a partner is too risky. I'd only worry about your safety, he states firmly. I'm going to conquer this solo. She is stunned but accepts it. Suddenly, a stranger approaches, asking if he's the student Su Ming. The name's Yan Zi. From Class 4, the newcomer introduces himself with a cocky grin. Boasting a 9-star demon-hunting ranger talent, he invites Su Ming to join his elite squad. Su Ming recalls him from his past life, but Ji Yao snaps a no before he can react. He's already in my team, she declares, telling Yanzi to stop bothering them. Stunned by her intensity, Yanzi apologizes for the intrusion and beats a hasty retreat. Su Ming realizes Ji Yao is surprisingly reliable. Meanwhile, the dungeon gates begin to glow. Director Wang's voice booms, announcing that the 127th Novice Dungeon trial has officially commenced. Awkwardly, he admits he overslept and is broadcasting from home to explain the trial's rules. He explains that this 24-hour trial is a mandatory rite of passage for all newly awakened students. He continues, warning that once they cross the threshold, points and rewards will be judged by individual contribution. To survive the onslaught, he suggests, it's best to work in teams and clear the challenge within the day to finish their first awakening trial. The moment that decides your fate is here, he shouts. Go forth and conquer. Amidst the chaos, Ji Yao suddenly realizes that Su Ming has completely vanished. No more waiting, the director declares. The dungeon is officially open to all. A sudden ripple at the entrance sends the students into a frenzy. Someone has already jumped in. It's him, someone cries out. The 10-star genius Su Ming just went in alone. Within the dungeon's cold depths, Su Ming steps into the shadows. A wave of nostalgia hits him. The familiar air brings back memories of his past life's fear and excitement. These rookies are desperately scrambling, obsessed with scraping together every last contribution point. Suddenly, A booming voice echoes to Blue Star's newest class holders. The multiversal massacre is beginning. This realm is a lethal blend of extreme peril and divine opportunity. To escape this hell and claim the rewards, they must secure enough contribution points by taking down the regular boss. But a far more perilous path exists, one our protagonist has already set his sights on. This time, he chooses the ultimate trial, hunting down the supreme hidden boss. Deep within the shadows of the F-rank Raging Tide Forest, the atmosphere grows heavy with dread. Su Ming steps through the portal, scanning his surroundings with a sharp gaze. He notes that the Novice dungeon's layout shifts every year. This terrain is a complete mystery, entirely different from the dungeon map he conquered in his previous life. Every spawn point is randomized, scattering challengers across the unknown. He realizes that every route must be recalculated, and the monsters lurking in the brush are deadlier than ever before. While navigating the thicket, Su Ming spots a lurking threat, an elite level 1 monster camouflaged in the foliage. It stands as still as a tree. But don't be fooled. Once its vines snare a target, they are dragged into its searing hollow to be roasted alive. Knowing his true target is the hidden boss, he decides to bypass these troublesome sentinels to conserve his strength. He locks his coordinates on the map, focusing on the path ahead. He rushed to be the first inside for one reason: to scout the terrain and secure the essential items needed to challenge the hidden boss. The map may have changed, but his mastery of boss mechanics remains flawless. He knows that once the crowds arrive, gathering resources will be a nightmare. Without wasting a second, he blurs through the trees toward his objective. As the clock strikes 7:30, a girl emerges from the portal. Her teammate remarks on the eerie silence nearby until a deafening, bone-chilling roar shatters the air. Through a cloud of dust, a figure stumbles out, screaming in absolute terror. Fear paralyzes them as they see the pursuer, a massive, frenzied blood rat, its eyes glowing with murderous hunger. Panic erupts as they scatter, every man for himself. Meanwhile, the system begins broadcasting the grim reality of the dungeon's status. At precisely 7:31 in the morning, the first casualties are recorded. 3 challengers are brutally gnawed to death by the frenzied blood rat. Among the fallen is the promising 6-star talent, Li Dabao. Ji Yao watches in horror. She hasn't even formed a team, yet players are already being slaughtered like cattle. Back inside the chaos, the girl from before runs until her lungs burn, only to realize she's been completely separated from her squad. She desperately checks her map, lost in the green labyrinth, when a thunderous crash nearby makes her heart stop. She turns, trembling, and sees a massive shadow looming over the canopy. A monstrous monkey lunges from the heights, its claws reaching for her throat as she lets out a final scream. Just as death nears, a blade whistles through the air, striking the beast with lethal precision as Su Ming suddenly appears. Just moments before this rescue, another competitor found himself staring into the jaws of an elite grizzly bear. He barely escaped with his life, wondering why an elite monster was haunting the starting zone. His comrade wasn't so lucky, taking the full brunt of the bear's fury. Soon, swamp hunters and their tracking hounds join the relentless slaughter. A frantic survivor screams into his comms channel, his voice cracking with desperation. He reports that the transport point at the 9 o'clock position is completely overrun and begs for immediate reinforcements. As he frantically points toward the 6 o'clock position, he fails to see the dragonized lizard creeping up behind him. Warriors struggle against the endless tide of monsters, their lines crumbling under the pressure. The 11 o'clock position is compromised. The beasts are coming in waves that never seem to end. A young woman discovers her entire team decimated near a massive tree. She sobs into the radio, pleading for help for her fallen comrades. Looking at her friends' lifeless bodies, she collapses to her knees, her spirit shattered. Her body trembles with regret. "If only we hadn't hidden," she whispers. "Maybe they'd still be alive." The dungeon has only been open for 30 minutes, yet the difficulty is already beyond anything they were trained for. Can any rookie truly survive this nightmare? Her thoughts are interrupted as she witnesses a student effortlessly annihilate a colossal beast. Su Ming approaches her, his presence radiating an overwhelming power. He ended the threat in a heartbeat. As she looks up to thank her savior, she realizes who he is, the legendary 10-star genius, Su Ming. Glancing back, he stated he was merely passing through, warning her that no second rescue was coming for this persistent beast. Pure terror gripped her as she struggled to grasp the weight of his cold, cryptic warning. She fled desperately, screaming that she'd fetch reinforcements while praying he could hold the line until then. Su Ming's eye of perception flared, identifying a level 3 mutant monkey king equipped with a lethal slap skill. Consequently, it was clear why the beast endured his silver-grade weapon. Even in an F-rank dungeon, this creature was a monster. The king lunged the moment it recovered. Su Ming retreated, noting its impressive speed with a sharp, focused gaze. But he saw this as the perfect chance to test his true mettle in a real contest. Tapping into past life memories, he activated his third inheritance, Divine Shadow Step, a technique boosting speed by 50%. Upon its activation, he became an untargetable phantom, immune to all damage, though the massive stamina drain gnawed at his very core. With a surge of speed, Su Ming blurred into a high-speed charge directly toward the towering Monkey King. The beast tried to counter, but he blinked away at the last second, reappearing like a ghost behind it. The Monkey King spun for another strike, but Su Ming danced through the air, evading the blow with ease. Facing the beast again, he remarked that a real contest wasn't even necessary at this point. He lunged again. The Monkey King could only stand frozen, watching its inevitable doom approach at blinding speeds. Defeated with zero effort, the creature fell as Su Ming sighed, finally bored of the one-sided game. The system chimed, Mutant Monkey King slain. His reward was a low-grade linear skill scroll for his efforts. He examined the scroll, noting that while it was only low-grade, it was a solid haul for this dungeon. His eyes widened as a global first blood notification suddenly flashed across his vision. The system announced that a level 2 sword controller had achieved the first kill of the forest's mutant Monkey King. Instantly, every player in the dungeon froze in shock, wondering who could possibly take down a mutant monster so quickly. To celebrate the feat, the system rewarded every active player in the dungeon with a small healing potion. A girl in hiding downed her potion instantly, desperate to mend her wounds and survive the nightmare. Back with Su Ming, the forest echoed with murmurs, as players wondered if the mysterious sword controller was actually that student, Su Ming. Some were convinced it was the 10-star prodigy, Su Ming, finally showing his true legendary potential. Others argued it was impossible, claiming there were many sword controllers from neighboring cities also participating this year. Regardless, the first kill proved that the newly awakened students actually had a fighting chance to clear this place. Su Ming grimaced. He hadn't expected the global title system to broadcast his strength to the entire world. Therefore, he decided to move with extreme caution, utilizing his total concealment ability to vanish back into the shadows. Surprisingly, no other player had secured a kill yet. His thoughts were cut short by a pack of hungry wolves. This was perfect. Su Ming knew these wolves were the classic newbie mobs designed for rapid level grinding. It was time to unleash the new sword technique he had just acquired and refined. He remembered his unique talent, all things sublimation, which he had used just moments before. He had evolved the basic scroll dropped by the Monkey King into something far more potent and deadly. The system confirmed, all things sublimation active. He now possessed the sword unsheathing slash, a strike of absolute focus. The wolves began to howl, their predatory instincts driving them to close the distance on the lone swordsman. Su Ming didn't hesitate, unleashing his new ability in a single, devastating slash that tore through the air. The first wolf vanished under his blade, granting him a surge of experience points as it fell. He continued his lethal dance, harvesting experience until every wolf lay defeated beneath his newfound power. System alerts flooded his mind. Su Ming had hit level 9 and earned the legendary Hungry Wolf Legend title. Moving forward, surveying the area, he realizes the long-range potential of his drawing sword slash. It is the perfect tool to harvest these low-level hungry wolves en masse. He clicks the blade back into its scabbard, calculating the efficiency. The built-up energy from each moment of stillness will make the next strike devastating. Sharpening his focus, he draws in a single explosive motion. A crescent of lethal energy screams toward the remaining pack. But mid-flight, his strike is abruptly halted. Shock colors Su Ming's face as a massive shadow emerges. The beast swats his powerful slash aside like it is a mere fly. Before him looms the level 10 Silverback Wolf King. Meanwhile, just moments ago, Qi Yao watched with anticipation as the newly formed parties entered the Novice dungeon. The moment they crossed the shimmering threshold, they were plunged into a desperate struggle against a wave of vicious monsters. One warrior white-knuckles his hilt, desperate to strike back while his fallen comrades groan on the blood-stained earth. As the monster falls, shared experience floods the party. The system chimes. They have successfully slain a mutant field rat. Cheers erupt as they celebrate taking down a special mob. Amidst the chaos, a golden pillar of light signals one member's level up to level 2. Suddenly, a global notification freezes them in their tracks. A player has just claimed the first blood on a boss monster, but the shock is only beginning. Confusion turns to disbelief. The Slayer is a level 9 fisherman. How could a mere life skill class achieve the impossible? 10 minutes prior, Su Ming has the Wolf King at half health. He lunges at the beast's blind spot, his movements a blur of calculated violence. He vaults into the air with a cold smirk. Don't think being a king makes you invincible here. Channeling every ounce of power, he unleashes his ultimate strike. The blade bites deep into the Wolf King's skull. System: you have slain the Silverback Wolf King. 500 EXP gained, level 10 reached. He earns 145 proficiency points in drawing sword slash. His Swift Thunder sword art gains 100 points. Rare loot drops. an iron-cutting clawbone, and the coveted Wolf King's heart. Elsewhere, within the dungeon's depths, a blond youth gasps for air over a pile of wolf carcasses. He grumbles about the exhausting effort it took to wipe out the pack. His teammate sighs in relief. Thank God for that attack boost scroll from the dungeon title, or we would be dead meat. He shudders, knowing how close they came to a total party wipe. Yang Ding's face twists in rage at the mention of the level 9 fisherman. He snarls that the dungeon must be glitched. How can a lowly life skill master outpace real combatants? To him, this feels like a personal insult to all real players. Fuming with jealousy, he slams his blade into the dirt. His novice cleaver is garbage. If he had not been scammed by Su Ming at the shop, things would be different. He could have been wielding a silver-grade weapon by now. A teammate chuckles, calling Su Ming lucky, which only fuels Yang Ding's fire. Shut your damn mouths. Yang Ding roars, his pride stung. He reminds them he has been tanking all the damage while they just leech his experience. Despite the slaughter, he is only level 2. His hatred for Su Ming festers. He prays the scammer is in this dungeon. He vows to hunt Su Ming down and tear him apart to satisfy his burning rage. His friends try to calm him, pointing out that they have all finally hit level 2. They believe that by grinding these wolves, their path forward will finally become a breeze. Back with our protagonist, Su Ming stares at a flickering system window. His primary class change quest has been triggered, tailored specifically to his current achievements. Su Ming realizes that in this timeline, everything is different. The level 10 threshold has opened the door to destiny much earlier than before. In his previous life, he was already long gone from here. Back then, he had already moved past the novice dungeon before the quest appeared. That delay forced him into a brutal E-rank quest that was far beyond his capabilities at the time. He struggled for ages, forced to grind until level 15, just to stand a chance at completing that first promotion. By the time he finished, the rewards had lost their luster, severely stunting his early growth. But this time, things are about to change. Everything is different now. Su Ming has reached level 10 while still inside the novice dungeon. This unprecedented growth gives him absolute confidence. The tides of fate are turning. Ding! The system announces his first class change quest. Mission: slay the Guardian of Red Rock Cave, a lethal elite monster. The lair hides within the furious tide forest. Su Ming smirks, seeing the target is still within his reach. This is a breeze. He already knows how to shatter the limits of his class. He pours every single stat point into agility. This class change task? It's already in the bag. As the stats update, the system chimes once more. His growth has triggered a hidden milestone. He has shattered the 100-point agility barrier, a feat unheard of for a mere novice. He awakens a new passive, Sword Martial Master. Now he can wield any sword, ignoring all level and stat requirements. Meanwhile, tension boils in the Xuanjing First Academy meeting room. Staff report the latest novice rankings. Geniuses from neighboring cities are crushing the competition. The director scans the list, his face pale. Where is Su Ming? He demands, searching for his only hope. The assistant's voice trembles. Sir, the data is complete. He's nowhere to be found. But then, a strange update appears. At 8 o'clock. A first blood title was claimed by a sword controller. It has to be Su Ming, the student the director bet everything on. The director's heart sinks. Only a first blood? He wonders, his mind racing. Su Ming was born with perfect 10-star attributes. He even started with a legendary novice gift pack. Even without flashy skills, his raw power should be unmatched. He should be tearing through monsters with brute force alone. So, why? The director mutters. Why isn't he even in the top 500? Bam! The doors are kicked open as Fury walks in. It's Ran Ling, the vice mayor of Xuanjing City. She remembers the director's promise of a peerless genius. Is this your 10-star miracle? She mocks. My data shows your Su Ming is a complete nobody on the charts. The director tries to calm her. 10-star talent is real, he pleads. But look at his class. He's a sword controller. His early game combat power is naturally restricted. He just needs more time. Ran Ling's scream echoes through the hall. Impossible. Even a sword controller should be in the top 500. She accuses him of deception. Did you lie about his strength just to steal extra Celestial Tower tokens? The director trembles in terror. I would never lie about such a thing. Ran Ling ignores him, her eyes cold as ice. The only real talent is Yanxi, a 9-star demon hunting ranger. Ranked second, Yanxi is their only hope, the only one who can challenge the rival city's monsters. She also notes Jiang Tang, the heir of the Jiang family, an 8-star magic hammer warrior currently ranked 4th. He is the one with true potential. Her judgment is final. Your academy will only receive 2 qualification tokens this year. The director is horrified. Only 2? But every school gets 3. Ran Ling turns her back on him. Maybe if your academy didn't finish last every single year, if you fail again next year, you'll lose your entry slots entirely. What if the students improve later? The director begs. We'll see, she snaps, vanishing into the corridor. A suffocating silence fills the room. The director gazes at the tokens. These are the keys to power, rewards, and the Academy's future. Without them, the school is as good as dead. The weight of failure is crushing. He expected the 10-star student to bring glory. Instead, everything is falling apart. Su Ming, don't fail me now, he prays. Meanwhile, Su Ming arrives at the dark entrance of the Red Rock Cave. The map was perfect. Having avoided every distraction, he is ready for the real challenge. Stepping into the cavern, Su Ming realizes this path is entirely new, a variable his past life never encountered. Unaware of what horrors lie ahead, his senses sharpen just as a thunderous roar echoes through the air. A gold-digging goblin lunges from the shadows, but Su Ming extinguishes its life with a single, lethal strike. He hopes for silence to avoid a swarm, yet the system announces the Goblin Cave alert has been triggered. Confusion strikes. He was silent as a ghost, yet the cave itself seemed to sense his presence. Shadows begin to writhe as creatures emerge, making Su Ming realize his first class change trial is no easy feat. As a tide of monsters surges toward him from the darkness, the system issues a dire warning. The goblins of Red Rock Cave are launching a relentless, fierce assault. Slaying them, he reflects on their goblin mode, a primal existence fueled by greed and chaotic, lazy behavior. With no room for mercy, he plunges back into the fray, his blade carving a path forward. But the numbers are suffocating, forcing him to retreat as the sheer weight of the swarm threatens him. He checks his blade's durability just as a massive beast prepares a sudden, crushing blow. Su Ming leaps into the air at the very last second, narrowly escaping the devastating impact. But the trap is set. Goblin archers have already notched their arrows, aiming directly at the airborne warrior. A hail of arrows fires. He deflects most, but the overwhelming volume finally draws blood. As Su Ming's feet hit the ground, he retreats. Cursing the goblins' tactical brilliance, they knew he was a sitting duck while in the air. Seizing the moment of his distraction, the creatures scream their war cries and charge with full force. He blocks the onslaught, worried his mana won't sustain Divine Shadow Step for long. To make matters worse, a new squad of elite goblins emerges from the gloom. Without his full arsenal of skills, a direct confrontation feels like suicide against this overwhelming force. Thinking fast, he leaps away, deciding that survival now depends on agility and cautious evasion over brute force. He moves with lightning-fast speed. Once he gains ground, he turns to see the pursuit still coming, and begins channeling his inner power. He smirks, challenging them to attack as a blinding light erupts from his sword. With his power reaching its peak, he unleashes the sword unsheathing slash, a wave of pure, destructive energy. The goblins don't even have time to defend before the devastating strike wipes them all out. Su Ming presses forward, realizing that as long as he controls the high ground, he remains safe. Executing another perfect linear strike, he maximizes the lethal efficiency of his signature unsheathing technique. The slaughter finally ends as he stands before the elite goblin captain, noting that only one remains. Meanwhile, just beyond the Red Rock Cave entrance, one of Yang Ding's lackeys crouches in the brush, swearing he can hear the echoes of battle inside. Yang Ding scoffs at the idea, reminding him that this area is crawling with high-level monsters. But the bald man persists, certain that the sounds of clashing steel were no hallucination. At that moment, the blond boy's eyes widen in shock as a lone figure emerges from the dark cavern. As they wonder who would dare farm such a zone, Yang Ding pales. It's Su Ming, the weapon shop brat. Su Ming checks his interface, satisfied with the trial, when a sudden killing intent spikes from the shadows. Yang Ding charges at him with lethal intent. Su Ming effortlessly weaves past the strike, leaving the blond boy stumbling and utterly humiliated. Surround him, Yang Ding roars, but Su Ming just stands his ground, having no intention of fleeing. Yang Ding sneers, blaming Su Ming for his recent losses and cursing the luck that brought them together. The main character simply tilts his head in genuine confusion, asking the strangers who they are. The group is speechless. The shaved-head lackey can't believe Su Ming has completely forgotten them. Yang Ding rages, screaming that Su Ming took 5,000 advent coins. With a roar, he charges alongside his comrades. Su Ming smirks, unsheathing his blade to test the limits of a brand new skill. Activating sword control, he commands his weapon to dance, unleashing a flurry of devastating slashes upon the crowd. Yang Ding's squad collapses instantly, their agonizing screams echoing through the clearing. The experiment is a total triumph. As Su Ming maintains his onslaught, the blonde youth watches in horror, wondering how such a godlike technique could even exist. Su Ming thrusts his blade skyward. The blonde boy realizes this skill is only meant for intermediate-tier swordmasters far beyond their current level. Little do they know, this power came from a silver-grade scroll dropped by the dead goblin captain. Using his all-things sublimation talent, he evolved it into a gold-grade treasure before opening it at random. Even he hadn't expected to obtain a mastery that complemented his combat style so perfectly. In this manner, he knows this display will cement his reputation as a legendary sword controller in everyone's eyes. More importantly, clearing the Red Rock Cave yielded a hidden blueprint for the mission's final treasure chest. This blueprint was the ultimate key to completing his first class change mission. Upon activation, the system revealed a shocker. The treasure's coordinates pointed toward Red Rock Cave, Part 2. Su Ming's confusion deepens as the mission subtitle appears: Goblin Trade and Life. Elsewhere in the forest, a group of girls celebrates after finally wiping out the local monsters. One girl scoffs at those who doubted an all-female team's survival, proud of their hard-fought victory. Still, she acknowledges their 7-star awakened leader for the carry and prepares to divide the spoils. As one girl approaches, the monster remains to collect the loot. The blonde girl checks on her friend's fatigue, receiving a reassuring nod that everything is fine. Suddenly, the leader realizes their scout has vanished. Her heart sinks as a blood-curdling scream rips through the forest. She scans the shadows frantically, her eyes darting between the thick, dark trees. Panic sets in. The girl was just there to check the drops. How could she disappear so fast? She rushes to the kill site, but the ground is eerily empty. Absolute terror takes hold. Impossible. Her final scream pierces the silence, audible from miles away as the darkness swallows her whole. Meanwhile, Su Ming studies the system's data on goblin lifestyles, vile creatures inhabiting damp caves and ruined tunnels. Loathing bright light, these shadows provide the perfect cover for their deadly ambushes and sudden strikes. They live in tribal clans led by ruthless chiefs, commanding a hierarchy of warriors, craftsmen, and shamans. Every member has a specific duty, functioning with a terrifying level of group cooperation. Su Ming reads on, learning that goblins loot female creatures of any species to sustain their unnaturally high birth rates. Their gestation lasts only 1 to 3 months, a reproductive efficiency that defies the laws of nature. Reaching maturity swiftly, young goblins become adults within 2 years, fueling a relentless cycle of breeding and expansion. Disturbed by the intel, Su Ming checks his map. He recalls a cave entrance nearby, yet the coordinates lead elsewhere. Before him, there are only endless, ancient trees. Just as he doubts the location, a rustle in the mist catches his attention. Eye of Perception. Activated. Su Ming chuckles. He finally understands the Part 2 label. Everyone assumed the cave was in the mountains. In reality, the treasure is buried deep within a hidden underground den. He begins his descent, noting how cleverly they used fire smoke to mask the entrance. Touching down, he remains vigilant. One wrong move will alert the whole hive. He's here for the treasure, not a war. Suddenly, he spots a girl collapsed on the damp floor, caught by a smoke trap. These monsters are every bit as repulsive as the legends say. Further ahead, Su Ming spots another girl screaming in terror, begging the goblins to stay back. She collapses, trapped as the green-skinned monsters corner their prey. Su Ming realizes this challenger is the perfect decoy. Her screams will distract the goblins, making it effortless for him to claim the treasure. He initially decides to let her be eliminated without a second thought. In his eyes, her weakness in a beginner dungeon is her own fault, until a sudden revelation catches him off guard. She shrieks that she wants to quit, promising a massive reward for her rescue and claiming her sister is the vice director of the Jianggan financial conglomerate. As the goblins lunge for the kill, her desperate cries reach a fever pitch. That changes everything. Su Ming commands his blade, plunging it into the earth to draw the monster's gaze before leaping into the air with sword control. The sword exits its sheath, erupting with a piercing, holy light. He activates Plundering Slash, intensifying the radiance until the goblins are completely blinded and disoriented. While the monsters flee, Su Ming smiles. He knew these creatures couldn't handle an explosion of pure light. The energy from his Plundering Slash is the perfect deterrent. As long as he avoids killing them, the distraction remains active. The girl collapses again, her strength completely spent, as she gasps that she can't run another step. Su Ming stays sharp, ensuring no other dens are alerted. Seeing the chase has ended, he confirms his plan worked perfectly. Introducing herself as Zhang Yunqing, she tearfully thanks her savior. Su Ming freezes. She's the exact girl from the photograph he saw back at the weapon shop. He brushes off her gratitude, coldly stating he was simply passing through the area. She begs him to wait, promising a fortune the moment she logs out of the game. Su Ming begins to walk away, telling her to save the talk for if she actually survives. Terrified, Yunqing scrambles after him. He warns her to stop following, reminding her that he saved her once, but her lack of strength will only drag him down. Suddenly, a system notification flashes before his eyes. The treasure is right beneath his feet. As he begins to dig into the dirt, he notes that the goblins haven't returned yet. Yunqing quickly confirms she's been keeping a careful watch behind them. Finally, the treasure surfaces. It's a silver lottery chest, the best possible drop for this level. But Su Ming has a secret weapon. He activates his all-things sublimation talent to evolve the chest's quality. In an instant, the world turns bright. Yunqing gasps in disbelief as the silver light transforms into a legendary golden glow, a gold-tier lottery chest. Su Ming knows these chests are a massive gamble, holding the potential for top-tier gear, rare skill books, or artifacts. As the lid creaks open, both of them hold their breath, eyes fixed on the shimmering loot. The system chimes with a congratulatory message. He's obtained the Shadow Flow set and a Platinum Soul Healer skill scroll. Su Ming stands there, completely stunned. He fought through a hellish class change mission for this? While the Shadow Flow set is decent, the rest is a shock. He stares at the Platinum-grade Soul Healer scroll, wondering why fate gave him something so rare yet useless for his class. It's an incredible find that defies all expectations. It just doesn't belong in his inventory. Sensing his confusion, Yunqing sheepishly reveals her awakened class is a 7-star soul healer, leaving Su Ming speechless. Within seconds, the system updates. Yunqing has joined his party, and Su Ming has been appointed as the leader. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the dungeon, a ruthless player is slaughtering challengers to finish his own class change mission. Standing amidst a sea of eliminated players, he wears a twisted grin. For the weak, there is only one destination: total elimination. Facing this monster, Gi Yao trembles as she prepares her last line of defense, summoning her skeleton warrior. Time passes in a blur of terror as Gi Yao desperately tries to lose her pursuer, clinging to a jagged rock in hopes of staying hidden. The hunter is inches away until Gi Yao's foot slips. The sound of shifting stone betrays her, and he lunges. She narrowly avoids a fatal blow by throwing herself backward, but his blade still bites deep into her arm. The player sneers, impressed that a little chicken like her has managed to survive his hunt for this long. He steps forward, noting that her luck has finally run out. He admits she's successfully wasted his time, a feat actually worthy of praise. It appears Xuanjing Academy isn't entirely filled with useless trash after all, as her skills are surprisingly legitimate. Ji Yao demands an explanation. His uniform clearly marks him as a student from Wujing Academy, hailing from the neighboring city of Wuyang. She presses further, questioning why a foreigner would invade her region's beginner dungeon just to slaughter innocent players. He let out a cold laugh, replying that his reasons aren't personal or special in the slightest. His level 10 class change mission issued a ruthless decree. To advance, he is required to eliminate 50 players to satisfy the quest. Ji Yao freezes in shock at the cold-blooded requirement. The player scoffs, explaining the logic behind his hunt. He can't exactly go around murdering everyone in his own city's dungeons without causing a massive scandal. Thus, he had no choice but to take his private jet to this backwater region, intending to wipe out every novice he encounters. He sneers, telling her to blame her own academy for producing the most pathetic students in the entire territory. With a sudden burst of speed, he charges, shouting that if she's going to look for trouble, she should have picked an easier target. Reacting instantly, Ji Yao activates her ability, summoning a basic undead skeleton to block his path. As the player clashes with the summon, he mocks her efforts. He claims these little toys are too fragile to withstand even a single serious blow. His eyes lock onto hers with murderous intent. He makes it crystal clear this time, there will be no escape. He triggers his piercing blood blades ability, launching a lethal projectile straight at her. Just as the strike is about to land, Ji Yao spots a sudden countermaneuver. Another attack streaks through the air, perfectly intercepting and neutralizing the enemy's skill. Members of Ji Yao's group suddenly appear, declaring they've arrived to provide backup. She recognizes them as her former classmates, including Yanzi. Meanwhile, a system notification flashes before Su Ming. It informs him that the treasure fragment submission is underway. He lets out a satisfied breath. Finally, the grueling mission is officially complete. The system announces his success. Su Ming has achieved the first transition of the Sword God, granting him a permanent 10-point boost to all attributes. That's not all. His origin sword body talent has evolved, significantly enhancing its passive effects. The destructive power of his sword techniques has doubled. Simultaneously, his execution speed has also increased twofold. To top it off, his proficiency gain for sword skills has tripled. The path to mastery has never been faster. Su Ming realizes his strength has reached a new plateau. Now, he finally has a real shot at challenging the dungeon's hidden boss. Nearby, Yunqing is staring at her system interface in disbelief. Su Ming glances over, noticing she has successfully used a Soul Healer skill scroll. She has awakened Soul Surge, a Platinum tier skill. It's a powerful ability that draws upon soul power to activate. While active, every party member receives a staggering 200% experience boost. Su Ming immediately checks the details himself. He stares at the screen, stunned by the sheer magnitude of the experience multiplier. This skill is a total game changer. He looks at Yunqing, realizing she just randomly pulled a god-tier leveling skill. Her luck is truly off the charts. A plan begins to form in his mind as he stares at her with newfound intensity. Pointing toward Yunqing, he declares a change of heart. Since she asked for help clearing the dungeon earlier, he's decided to accept. Her face lights up with pure excitement at his words. She explains that the mercenaries her sister hired were wiped out in the Goblin Den. Knowing Su Ming soloed that place, she feels much safer by his side. Su Ming sighs internally. He's never been a fan of wealthy young ladies who use money to buy their way through life. However, for the sake of that insane experience boost, he realizes he has no other choice but to cooperate. Suddenly, his attention is diverted. An urgent message from Ji Yao pops up on his system interface. Back at the battlefield, the rival academy player is tearing through Ji Yao's group, effortlessly eliminating another teammate. He senses a demon-sealing arrow flying toward him. With a casual flick of his blade, he swats the projectile aside like a fly. Yanzi grinds his teeth in frustration. He never imagined an opponent could deflect his signature skill with such ease. Witnessing his brother's defeat, one group member charges forward in a desperate, reckless attempt to help. He is instantly caught by the piercing blood blade skill, vanishing into a burst of light as he's eliminated from the dungeon. Ji Yao gasps, realizing their opponent's strength is on an entirely different level. Yanzi confirms the grim reality: their teammates are already gone. Ji Yao is stunned that Wujing Academy possesses such a monster. Yanzi notes that he investigated before entering. This isn't just any awakened. He begins to reveal the identity of the monster standing before them. This superior swordsman is none other than the legendary genius from the neighboring city of Wuyang. This is Li Chengguang. He's a 10-star innate talent who possesses the terrifying hidden class, Blade Maniac. He sneers, noting that only the two of them remain and they've wasted far too much of his time. With progress stuck at 35 out of 50, Yanzi steels himself and warns Ji Yao that his class is strictly long range. Without distance, he can't stop Li Chunuang. Ji Yao grits her teeth, her mana reserves hitting rock bottom. Panic sets in for Yanzi as he desperately asks if they can afford to wait for reinforcements. Ji Yao thinks of the message sent to Su Ming, but admits they likely won't receive any help. Li Chunuang lets out a dark laugh, mockingly pointing out that they are completely isolated and helpless. With a bloodthirsty roar, he charges forward, vowing to slaughter the annoying archer first. Ji Yao leaps in front to block the lethal charge, screaming for Yanzi to turn and run while he can. Li Chunuang lands a devastating blow, barking that she's weak and has no right to save anyone. Utterly defenseless and broken, Ji Yao can only close her eyes and wait for the end. Suddenly, a blade streaks through the air, clashing against the attack. She gasps, knowing it must be Su Ming. Appearing atop the ridge, Su Ming asks if she's okay. He declares she has every right to save everyone. He remembers her message, the desperate warning that the 9 o'clock area was a death trap. Flashbacks of his past life hit him, reminding him of how Ji Yao once risked everything to save him. Even now, her heart hasn't changed. He realizes that despite the danger, she always prioritizes others' safety. Ji Yao stammers that she had warned him how dangerous this place was in her message. But the main character interrupts, stepping forward. He tells her to stop always worrying about everyone else first. Su Ming flashes a confident smile, making it clear that he will protect her this time. Li Chunuang's eyes narrow as he watches the sword hover. He realizes he's facing a legendary sword control ability. Su Ming snatches his blade and lunges at Li Chunuang in a silent, lethal blur. Their weapons clash with a bang. Li Chunuang grunts, asking if he's truly that 10-star sword controller. Su Ming's expression hardens as he pours more power into the strike. Did you dare hurt Ji Yao? Yanzi watches in awe, realizing they have a chance. He readies his bow to provide long-range support. Suddenly, his HP begins to recover. He spins around, stunned, to find their mysterious savior. Yun Chong steps forward, introducing herself as the main character's teammate. Exhaustion takes its toll, and she collapses, yet she still vows to keep healing them. Yanzi rushes to her side, admitting that having a healer in the party is a true blessing. With a trembling voice, Yun Chong confesses she's still mastering her gifts and needs more time. A flicker of jealousy crosses Ji Yao's face. Su Ming said he wouldn't team up, so who is she? While being healed, Yanzi apologizes to Yun Chong for the trouble they've caused. He begs her to hurry, fearing Su Ming is alone, but the healer tells him not to worry. As the restorative light continues to glow, she explains that Su Ming is incredible. He relentlessly hammers Li Chunuang, leaving the villain no room to breathe. Li Chunuang struggles to parry, baffled by the main character's godlike movement techniques and speed. After a final exchange, both fighters retreat, sizing each other up in a tense standoff. Klu Shunuang admits that a 10-star is formidable, but Su Ming's power has far exceeded his expectations. He readies his ultimate stance, declaring that today will decide who is truly the strongest. It's the 10-star Blade Maniac of Wang versus the 10-star Sword Controller of Xuanjing Academy. Su Ming reflects on the name Li Chunuang and realizes he's heard it before. This man was a legend in his past life. Su Ming never expected to meet him so early. He charges forward with a grin, eager to see if his sword is sharper than Li Chunhuang's blade. With the fate of his friends on the line, he strikes, but Li Chunhuang parries and counters with a devastating blood blade technique. Su Ming deflects the daggers, only for Li Chunhuang to laugh. He's fallen into a trap and immobilization skill. Thus, the hero found himself frozen, completely at the mercy of the blade maniac. Seizing the opening, Zhang Guang hurls another lethal dagger, but Su Ming maintains focus and commands his blade to whistle back to his hand. He triggers sword control, slamming the weapon into the earth to trigger a violent, shattering explosion. The blast shatters his immobilization, allowing him to weave past Zhang Guang's strike at the final microsecond. A cold smirk plays on Su Ming's lips as he declares that the hunt has officially begun. Recalling his steel, he launches a surprise strike at Zhang Guang's blind spot, mocking the defenseless warrior who now has nothing to block with. Zhang Guang takes the full, brutal force of the main character's controlled blade head-on. Swallowing the pain, he lunges forward with a dagger, snarling that Su Ming is now the unarmed one, as Su Ming activates Divine Shadow Step. As Zhang Guang unleashes the chaotic frenzy of his 5 shadow blades, the main character dances through every strike effortlessly. Rage boils within Zhang Guang as he demands to know how his opponent's speed suddenly skyrocketed. Su Ming beckons his blade back with a laugh, taunting that his weapon has already returned while nearby. Ji Yao and Yan Zi finally recover. They rush to aid Su Ming but skitter to a halt upon seeing both combatants standing perfectly still in a tense standoff. Confusion grips them as they wonder if the duel is over and who emerged as the victor. Their eyes widen in shock as Zhang Guang collapses to his knees, confirming the main character's triumph over such a powerhouse. But victory is fleeting as a malevolent red aura suddenly begins to swirl around Zhang Guang's wounded body. Yunqing screams a desperate warning as Su Ming spins around just as Zhang Guang lunges with explosive force, mocking his momentary lapse. Yanzi, Yunqing, and Ji Yao watch in horror as Zhang Guang lands a devastating, direct blow on the main character. Without a pause, the villain triggers his ultimate, most lethal supreme technique. The swift blade of the tropical forest traps Su Ming in a whirlwind of steel as Zhang Guang laughs maniacally at his success. Ji Yao screams out in pure terror, fearing for her friend's life. She tries to intervene, but Yanzi restrains her, warning that charging into that high-level formation would only lead to a pointless elimination. Ji Yao continues to wail in desperation, begging her companion to let her go. She is willing to sacrifice herself for Su Ming, until the main character's calm voice cuts through the chaos, telling her to listen. Startled, Ji Yao asks what he intends to do, but he firmly commands her to stay back and watch. Zhang Guang presses the attack, baffled that Su Ming is still breathing after enduring such a relentless barrage of blades. Then, Su Ming's voice echoes, asking if he's certain he actually landed a hit as the body Zhang Guang struck vanishes into thin air. Su Ming reappears from the shadows, noting coolly that his opponent has finally caught on to the deception. He scoffs, betting that Zhang Guang never expected a lowly sword controller to possess such a god-tier evasion skill. The main character is now fully geared in the complete and legendary Dark Sword set. This armor infuses every sword skill with dark attribute damage, allowing his strikes to completely bypass the enemy's physical defenses. Its unique skill, Shadow Clone, creates a perfect decoy for defense, and while the shadow is active, his offensive power is amplified. Every strike triggers an additional Shadow Slash, dealing 50% of his base attack power as devastating bonus damage. Closing the distance, Su Ming explains the terrifying true power behind his completed equipment set. Panicked, Zhang Guang stammers that no such set exists in a novice dungeon, unless there is one impossible way to obtain it. Trembling, he demands to know if the main character has already undergone his first-class advancement. Su Ming confirms his fears, revealing that he conquered the primary class change trial a long time ago. Zhang Guang spins around in a blind fury, realizing his opponent has been steps ahead of him since the very start. Su Ming shows zero mercy and strikes first, but as the blow lands, Zhang Guang tosses a glittering object into the air. An intense, blinding radiance erupts from the item, completely stealing Su Ming's vision and leaving him vulnerable. Yanzi identifies the glow as a high-tier life-saving accessory, leaving Yunqing baffled by the revelation. The archer explains that this rare item allows an emergency escape from the dungeon during life-threatening, critical moments. It is impossible to farm here, as the device costs hundreds of thousands of advent coins on the open market. Su Ming realizes the neighboring city spent a literal fortune just to keep their 10-star genius from falling in battle. Later, at 2 in the afternoon, the lead data analyst for the competition gasps in absolute disbelief at the screen. The director looks up from his meal, asking if she finally managed to access the live player level rankings. She points a trembling finger at the monitor and softly replies that the truth is much more shocking. She reports a data anomaly detected in the 9 o'clock zone of the dungeon between 12 and 12:30 o'clock. Several players were wiped out there, and while Director Wang questions if it was a high-level monster, the truth is far more sinister. The analysis reveals these players were eliminated by an outsider, someone who does not belong to their city's region. Director Wang's expression darkens as he realizes the neighboring city is meddling in their territory once again. He immediately orders her to secure every byte of those records for evidence. The Novice dungeons are a battlefield for prestige, and Xuanren Academy has become an easy target for those who want to see them fail. With their reputation on the line, he demands an urgent status report on the students currently raiding the dungeon. She quickly monitors the live feeds. Progress is steady, with students successfully securing the majority of the dungeon's transport zones. Real-time data shows the elite players are already forming a massive raid party to challenge the boss, led by the pride of the Jiang family. The 8-star hammer-wielding powerhouse, Jiang Tang, is leading the charge at the front lines. The director nods, acknowledging that the blonde youth is still overflowing with untapped potential. Just hours ago, Jiang Tang was only level 6, and now he is already closing in on the level 12 final boss. As the commander of such a large group, Wang estimates the boy must be nearing level 10 by now. He prays that Jiang Tang can slay the boss quickly to restore the Academy's tarnished honor. Suddenly, the technician's console flashes with the latest real-time ranking analysis. It is exactly as the director predicted. Jiang Tang has reached level 9 and is currently tied for the number 1 spot on the leaderboard. Wang assumes the student he is tied with must be the talented technician, Yanzi. The technician confirms this, adding that the top female students are right on their heels in the rankings. The level 7 undead summoner, Ji Yao, and the level 8 soul healer, Jiang Yunqing, are holding strong. A flicker of concern crosses the director's face as he asks for Su Ming's current status. The technician checks the high-level rankings but finds no trace of Su Ming anywhere on the list. After digging deeper, the technician gasps in disbelief, reporting that Su Ming is still only at level 2. The director's eyes bulge in shock. How could their most promising student be failing this badly? According to the logs, Su Ming's level has not increased once since he claimed the first blood reward. Meanwhile, at 2:30 in the afternoon, a system notification rings. Su Ming has successfully eliminated the elite spike-tooth beast. Golden light erupts as he surges to level 14, finally unlocking his legendary hidden equipment set. Ji Yao is breathless, amazed that they have gained so many levels in just over 2 hours of grinding. Yanzi notes he has already reached level 10, making them strong enough to challenge the dungeon boss. He credits their insane leveling speed to Jiang Yunqing's experience buff, urging the team to thank her. Yunqing smiles, reminding them that Su Ming was the one who gifted her that incredible skill to begin with. Ji Yao beams, realizing their party is perfect. Yunqing's healing, Yanzi's long-range precision, and her own summons for cover. She jokes about her cute creatures providing protection for the team, but she knows the real reason for their success is having a monster like Su Ming leading the way. Su Ming waves off the praise, humbly claiming he is just tagging along with such powerful teammates. Ji Yao scoffs at his modesty, knowing they would have been slaughtered by Chen Guang if he hadn't intervened. She flashes back to the moment Su Ming shielded her, standing toe-to-toe with the ruthless Chen Guang. Her face flushes with a hint of embarrassment as her voice softens. To her, watching Su Ming fight wasn't just impressive, it was absolutely captivating. With a team like theirs, she is certain they can clear the dungeon boss with ease. Su Ming agrees that the team is ready, but he reveals that a mere ordinary boss isn't his true objective. He pulls out a shimmering artifact dropped by the elite beast, the Water Ripple Key. To find the legendary hidden boss, he must now solve 3 ancient riddles and reclaim the lost artifacts of the dungeon. Right then, the system unveils the first riddle. When the silver moon hangs over the shore, the blue waves split and the red armor sleeps in the cold abyss. Su Ming ponders the words, concluding that weather patterns simply do not exist within a novice dungeon. With a confident smirk, he realizes the lake surface behind them is the exact location of the hidden boss. The system's voice echoes again. Using iris petals as a guide, the lake water transforms into mist. Beneath the sinking sands, the armor still guards the ancient pact. Su Ming recalls his every move since entering this realm and finally speaks up. He has already secured the trigger item, the iris flower, from the monkey monster territory as fast as possible. He knows it will sync perfectly with the water ripple key obtained from the third riddle's hint. He instructs the main character to hold the star pattern key toward the lake, where 9 ripples begin to circle the rock. The knight rests upon his blade, awaiting the light to pierce through the turbid waves. As Su Ming completes the ritual, an ancient power surges from the key, signaling their success. Suddenly, the group notices the lake's surface churning into a massive, violent whirlpool. From the depths, a figure emerges as a chant fills the air. With the pact as a guide and the starlight as a call, a guardian stands upon the waves. The voice continues. The red-armored knight sleeping in the cold abyss shall shatter all limits with the blue waves. System alerts blare repeatedly. The hidden boss has appeared. The Lake Guardian, the Lost Knight, Yanzi and Ji Yao join the party, and Su Ming takes command, ordering everyone to prepare for war. The system officially announces, the hidden boss challenge has begun. 15 minutes pass. From their hiding spot, a warning flashes. The red-armored knight is hunting for a hostile target. Yanzi questions if hiding is truly wise, while Ji Yao nervously asks if they should attempt another approach. Su Ming falls silent, lost in deep thought. He points toward the clearing, asking how they could possibly eliminate a boss that moves so fast on horseback. The system window reveals terrifying stats. Level 19, 500 movement speed, and 30 points in strength. With 250 constitution, over 100 in agility and spirit, and level 5 heavy armor mastery, he is a fortress. Su Ming notes that their team's combined speed doesn't even reach half of the knight's raw stats. A sudden scream pierces the air. In the forest, the knight is ruthlessly hunting down terrified players. The knight's speed is overwhelming. He closes the gap instantly, cutting down the players with ease. The forest floor is stained as the boss continues his relentless slaughter of the nearby players. Hearing the distant screams, Yanzi remarks that this is already the third group to be annihilated. Yunqing reminds them they are responsible for summoning this beast. They have to move now. Ji Yao rushes back, breathless, confirming she completed the orders exactly as requested. Exhausted, she explains they used every mana potion to set up a massive delaying trap. Su Ming commends her, signaling Yanzi and Yunqing to move. He reflects on his past life. He never challenged this boss before, as few would risk their lives right after awakening, especially since the Novice dungeon is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for every awakened. Because of this, the Guardian's true face is a mystery to most, hidden within vague records and ancient riddles. He had memorized the solution, but he never expected the boss would possess a mount with 500 speed. To win, they have only one choice. They must knock the knight off his horse. He gives the signal. Yanzi unleashes his multiple hunting shot skill directly at the knight. The arrows rain down, but the boss deflects them effortlessly with a single, sweeping strike. From his vantage point on the cliff, the knight's heavy armor mastery activates. Yanzi grits his teeth. The level 5 mastery rendered his archery almost completely useless. In that instant, the Lake Guardian's cold gaze locks onto the archer, marking him as the primary target. Realizing the danger, Yanzi screams to Yunqing, the aggro has shifted. She nods in agreement and immediately begins stoking the campfire, sending clouds of thick smoke into the air. Su Ming recalls the first phase. Yanzi must lure the boss back using his lethal long-range precision. Next, Yunqing will deploy a smokescreen to blind the knight, a tactical maneuver mastered in the goblin's lair. The knight searches the woods for his prey, but thick fog surrounds him as skeletons swarm his terrified mount. Seizing the moment, Ji Yao triggers her delayed trap release skill with perfect timing. The area skill is active, ticking down through its 3 minutes and 25 seconds duration. Ji Yao marvels at Su Ming's brilliance. Fusing basic summons into a massive, delayed trap spell was pure genius. The boss slashes through the undead to maintain his balance, but senses a deadly presence looming behind him. Yunqing unleashes her slowing magic, sapping the knight's strength as his movements turn to lead. Watching from the shadows, Su Ming knows Ji Yao's skeletal snare, combined with Yunqing's slowing magic, is key. Together, these two forces will lock the boss's movements and seal his fate. He admits the truth. Without their perfect synergy, taking down this knight would be impossible. Su Ming lunges forward, seizing the boss's arm before delivering a powerful kick to the horse's flank. With a violent impact, he successfully drags the knight from his saddle and onto the forest floor. As the boss struggles to find his footing, Yunqing cheers the plan to unseat him worked perfectly. But Ji Yao warns them to stay focused. This is only phase 1. Flashback, 10 minutes earlier. Ji Yao admired the strategy but pointed out a fatal flaw in their upcoming confrontation. Casting these spells would drain her and Yunqing's mana, leaving them unable to assist in the final kill. Su Ming told them not to worry. Knocking him down was enough, the rest of the hunt belonged to him. Now, facing the grounded knight, the true battle for survival begins. Su Ming tells the group to step back. With a confident smirk, he charges the legendary knight. Blades clash in a shower of sparks. Both warriors trade high-speed blows, refusing to yield even an inch. The duel is breathtaking. Yanzi realizes Su Ming is soloing a hidden boss on equal ground. He grips his weapon, wanting to join the fray and support his leader. Ji Yao stops him, reminding everyone to trust the main character. They have their own mission to complete. Suddenly, Su Ming teleports with divine shadow step, unleashing a hurricane of slashes upon the knight. His speed continues to ramp up, turning him into a blurring phantom of destruction. He maintains a relentless assault, never giving the boss a single second to recover. Too slow, Su Ming taunts. Without his horse, the fearsome knight is surprisingly vulnerable. He glances at the stats. The boss's speed has plummeted to a mere 55 points. Su Ming strikes again, convinced this hidden boss isn't the threat he once imagined. Channeling every ounce of energy into his blade, he roars for the boss to finally disappear. But his strike bounces off. That heavy armor is far more resistant than he ever anticipated. The knight counters with a crushing blow. Su Ming barely leaps back to avoid certain death. Suddenly, a system alert blinks red. His sword's durability has fallen to only 7%. His damage has hit rock bottom. That impenetrable heavy armor is becoming a nightmare to overcome. The knight advances into the trees, searching until his eyes lock onto Su Ming perched above. Su Ming wonders if the boss is desperate to reclaim his mount and regain his advantage. He smirks from the branches. It's too late, the horse is already in his team's hands. Deep in another part of the forest, the struggle for control continues. The boss's mount thrashes violently, but Ji Yao refuses to let the beast escape her grasp. Yanzi urges Yunqing to maintain the slowing magic to keep the horse restrained. Ji Yao laughs, knowing their task is vital. Su Ming entrusted them with the key to victory. She recalls his warning. If they could successfully unseat the knight, they had to move instantly. The knight would be Su Ming's burden, but the rest of the team held his fate in their hands. The mission was simple: pin down the boss's steed and prevent any remount. Meanwhile, back with Su Ming, he unleashes a lethal draw slash, the impact triggering a massive explosion. But the knight counters instantly with the exact same skill. Su Ming leaps back to evade the blast, noting with a smirk that his foe is a master of skills too. Sensing danger, he spins around just as the boss strikes. He activates sword control, parrying the knight's blade at the very last second. As he maintains his grip on the blade, a system warning flashes. Weapon durability has plummeted to 3%. Undeterred, Su Ming surges forward, catching the knight off guard with a devastating kick to the chest. Every hit counts now. He can't waste another point of durability. Using Eye of Perception, he sees the truth. The boss's heavy armor is at its breaking point. With the boss grounded and vulnerable, he maneuvers his floating sword for one final, decisive execution. However, the knight was baiting him. Reading Su Ming's charge, the monster prepares a lethal counterattack. Snatching the opening, he seizes Su Ming by the throat and delivers a bone-shattering strike with his free arm. But the monster's triumph turns to confusion as Su Ming's body vanishes into thin air. Reappearing from the shadows of the forest, Su Ming scoffs. This trick never fails, whether against players or monsters. He triggers his gear set, a cold smile playing on his lips. This power, he could get used to this. As the boss charges, Su Ming's sword control finds its mark. The heavy armor finally shatters, and he leaps in for the kill. Disaster strikes. The system screams a final warning as his weapon durability hits 0 and the blade shatters into pieces. Su Ming doesn't flinch. He's already activating his ultimate skill, execution. 1 hour later, inside the Xuanjing Academy comms room, an announcement rings out. Director Wang has finally arrived. The old man notes that the other directors seem to have been locked in deep discussion for quite a while. A colleague retorts that they all just arrived. It seems only Director Wang was truly lagging behind. He then asks pointedly, has not a single Xuanjing student even reached the dungeon boss yet? Traditionally, the first clear results should be rolling in by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He reminds the director that since his academy always places last, there's really no rush to report. Being late is par for the course, right? Wang shoots back that his delay had nothing to do with the dungeon's progress. With that, he reveals alarming real-time data. Unauthorized players have infiltrated Xuanjing's novice dungeon. Their identities remain a mystery, lurking in the shadows. He demands to know if these intruders are troublemakers sent from the other 3 academies. He turns his gaze toward Director Xie, questioning him. Is this your work? The logs show our students were systematically wiped out by a master of blade skills. Rumor has it that Wu Yang Academy's star genius, Li Chengguang, is an unparalleled master of the blade. Xie roars. He tells Wang to back off without proof. Li Chengguang is currently leading the raid on their own final boss and should clear it within 30 minutes. The Dongling director chimes in, boasting 3 elite teams already locked in combat with their dungeon boss. Meanwhile, the Nongong Academy director reports their battle has reached its climax. If all goes well, the victory announcement is imminent. Director Wang grits his teeth, realizing the other academies are thriving. This has turned into a desperate, high-stakes race against the clock. If they fail to secure the first clear, they'll be left with only 2 Celestial Tower Council slots, the lowest in history. Then, he thinks of Jiang Tang. As the only student near the boss, the Academy's entire future now rests on his shoulders. 15 minutes later, deep in the dungeon, Jiang Tang's voice thunders. He orders his team to charge, unleashing every ultimate skill they have. They must bring down the boss at any cost. The level 15 Forest King, Shinba, however, spots a fatal opening. With a single, crushing blow, he wipes out half of Jiang Tang's squad. As the slaughter continues, a terrified teammate screams that they're outmatched. Their levels simply aren't high enough to survive this monster. Facing the towering titan, the blonde youth smirks. After pushing this far, failure isn't an option. His eyes gleam with greed. The legendary novice rewards must be his. Memories of Xiaoman's pleas flood back. She begged him to crush the main character for her humiliation. With dark resolve, Jiang Tang prepares to slay the beast, claiming both glory and vengeance for Xiaoman. He charges, but stops dead. The massive boss is vanishing into thin air. Panic sets in until a system-wide alert blares. He stares in utter disbelief as the notification confirms the hidden boss is slain. The dungeon is closing. Moments earlier, Ming stood over the knight's remains. The battle was finally over. His teammates arrive, frozen in shock. Ming had actually soloed a hidden boss. Back in the observation room, tension peaks as the results appear. Directors hold their breath for their respective schools. Director Wang's jaw drops. Against all odds, his university has claimed the throne. Chaos erupts. A hidden boss in a novice trial? It is unheard of, a total game changer. Inside, Ji Yao beams at Ming. He is more than talented, he is a monster. With the knight fallen, the party jumps 2 levels. Ming reaches level 16. Before the portal opens, Ming gathers them. It is time to divide the spoils. John shakes his head. The massive level up is more than enough for him. Yunqing agrees, her eyes filled with gratitude. Ming literally pulled her from death's door. The archer laughs. From surviving Lai Chengguang to soloing a boss, he felt useless. Taking anything now would feel like a betrayal of his pride as a warrior. But then, a golden light flashes. He has received the Putrid Spirit Suppression Bow, a level 20 masterpiece. It is a ranger's dream, imbued with the rare spiritual suppression attribute. It drains spiritual power to infuse every arrow with deadly, random enchantments. Yunqing isn't left empty-handed either. She obtains the Heart Soul Necklace, boosting her soul power storage and absorption. Ji Yao receives a rare prize, the Blood Armor Undead Summoning Scroll. She can now summon the legendary knight, with its power scaling to her own. Ming smiles. The dungeon provided perfect, class-specific gear for everyone. He looks at them, explaining that the system recognizes their unity. They were all essential to this victory. Without their presence, he knows he never would have conquered this trial. Suddenly, a cold voice echoes. Furious Tide Flowers rank F, dungeon cleared. Time, 8 hours, 20 minutes. The journey ends here. As a shimmering portal manifests, Ming leads the way. He reminds them that final rewards settle outside, where individual portals await each survivor. Walking forward, he tells them to be proud. They made it out alive, the ultimate victory. At 4:30 in the afternoon, the dungeon releases its grip. The air is thick with the cries of the grieving. Out of 20, only 5 survived. Only those like Ji Yao and Yunqing remain. Looking at the carnage, Ming realizes the harsh truth of their new reality. Since the awakening, the world has discarded mercy for the law of the jungle. In this new era, only the strongest take it all. Ming watches the carnage, realizing that in this world, evolution is the only way to survive. Around him, the broken cries of players echo through the air as they mourn their losses. He notes the heavy atmosphere, where some are drowning in grief over fallen comrades and loved ones, while others celebrate their newfound wealth and power. To him, this duality is nothing short of a sick, twisted joke. Suddenly, Director Wang flickers onto the massive screen, offering his congratulations to the survivors of the novice dungeon. He declares this their true baptism into the world of the awakened, the final, brutal lesson the Academy will ever provide. With a somber expression, he reminds them that being awakened isn't just about glory and gold, but a heavy burden of responsibility and peace. Those who lost someone must carry that agony as a reminder of their purpose. Meanwhile, the victors must never forget the weight of their duty. Ji turns to Ming, wondering if he feels any joy or sorrow in this heartless system. Ming simply looks on, knowing that the students who perished inside aren't truly gone. The director pauses for dramatic effect, preparing to drop a bombshell to conclude his final lecture. He reveals the dungeon's true secret. In 30 minutes, every fallen classmate and lover will be resurrected and returned to their side. The crowd freezes, unable to process such an impossible revelation. Shocked, Ji stares at Ming, wondering how he could have possibly known the truth beforehand. Soon, the system finalizes the dungeon statistics and begins the reward distribution. Player Li Guangran is up first. She managed to take down 3 frenzied rabbits and a single reverse feathered chicken, a meager 4 kills in total. Her contribution was a pathetic 0.03%, earning her a mere 16 advent coins. Next, Songju eliminated 1 sharp-clawed cat, securing a 0.06% contribution and 22 advent coins. Then, it was finally time for the main character. His record was monstrous. 113 gray-backed wolves, a mutant monkey, 24 minor goblins, an elite goblin, and 87 spiny-toothed beasts. He didn't stop there, slaughtering 13 elite beasts and the hidden boss itself. Combined with his primary class change, clearing the Red Rock Cave without taking damage, and securing the first blood title, his feats were legendary. The final verdict? A god-tier rank S. He is officially crowned the Rookie King, granting him 15 points to all attributes and a 10% boost to skill proficiency, totaling a staggering 91% dungeon contribution. Back in the command center, Director Wang stares at the results in awe before noticing Su Ming has arrived. He is the undisputed #1 in both the school and the entire city. Su Ming just shrugs it off, casually claiming he nearly missed the meeting because he overslept. The leaderboard updates, showing Su Ming at a massive level 16, towering over the competition. Jiang Tang and Yanzi trail behind at level 12, while Ji sits at level 10. Su Ming realizes his days as a student are officially over. He decides it is finally time to stop holding back, confident he can manipulate his public data with ease. After all, the path he walks is now light years ahead of his former peers. He starts to walk away until he senses something bizarre happening behind him. He looks down to find the director, literally hugging his leg with teary eyes, refusing to let go. The old man weeps with pure joy, thanking Su Ming profusely for his mysterious, overwhelming strength. After years of being at the bottom, Xuanjing Academy has finally reclaimed its pride and silenced its critics. The director gloats, mentioning that as soon as the rankings went live, that arrogant old man from Wuyang Academy was left completely speechless after years of mockery. He can't wait to see that fraud try to talk trash now. Su Ming casually asks about Wuyang's top genius, Li Chengguang. The director scoffs, noting that the manic blade genius everyone bet on only managed to scrape 3rd place. Su Ming finds the news satisfying, though he expected as much. However, the old man mentions rumors that Li Chengguang was severely injured in a freak accident, which cost him the boss kill. He then turns his gaze to Su Ming, desperate to know how a sword controller took down a hidden boss. He knows the class is notoriously weak early on, and even a 10-star talent shouldn't be this broken. Su Ming has no noble backing or piles of gold to buy divine gear, making his victory even more impossible. The director sighs in disbelief, admitting he has never seen a student so terrifyingly gifted. With decades of experience, the director knows those basic awakening gifts weren't the key. Such minor trinkets only offer a slight power boost, certainly not enough for this miracle. Su Ming just laughs it off, claiming he simply got lucky. He tells the director he just happened to stumble upon some incredibly rare skills and items. The director nods in agreement, acknowledging that the Novice dungeon does indeed hide legendary, untapped treasures for the fortunate. Su Ming adds that he wasn't alone, crediting a group of reliable teammates for the victory. He admits that without their support, eliminating that hidden boss would have been an impossible task. Deep down, however, he knows his greatest secret must remain buried. He can never reveal the truth of his reincarnation to the director. Wang remarks that Su Ming isn't just a powerful awakened, but a born leader who knows how to command his peers. He mentions the other top 5 arrived earlier, and Jiao wouldn't stop singing Su Ming's praises after witnessing his godlike strength firsthand. Su Ming recalls she had actually messaged him to team up before they even entered the dungeon. He turned her down then, knowing her tendency to shower him with overwhelming, public admiration. Just thinking about her constant flattery makes him feel awkward, as she always goes overboard with her praise for others. Suddenly, the director tosses him a shimmering token, the mark of the Heavenly Tower Council. It is the ultimate reward for his dominant first-place finish. Even the vice mayor, who once looked down on Xuanjing Academy, was forced to strip tokens from rival schools to hand them over. Now, the academy holds 5 prestigious slots, awarded to Su Ming, Jiao, Yanzi, Yunqing, and Jiang Tang. The director begins to explain the immense weight and importance this token carries in the world of the awakened. But Su Ming stops him, revealing he already knows exactly what this golden ticket represents for his future. To every new awakened, the Heavenly Tower Council is the promised land, the dream they all chase immediately after graduation. Most graduates are forced into the slow grind of low-level dungeons just to survive their first days in the professional world. They are forced to play it safe, taking tiny, cautious steps forward, but that path is agonizingly slow and fraught with high risks for such little gain. But this token changes everything. Those who possess it gain access to an elite training channel that accelerates growth beyond imagination. Though the challenges within are brutal, the rewards are legendary and the power-ups come at lightning speed. In his past life, Su Ming's greatest regret was failing to secure this council qualification early in his journey. That one failure cost him his lead, leaving him to struggle alongside the common players from the very start. Resources were scarce back then, and being forced to share what little he had stunted his ultimate potential. But not this time. In this life, he will seize every advantage and dominate the future he once lost. With a proud smile, The director officially declares him a graduate of Xuanjing Academy. Yet, his tone turns grave. Out there are no restarts. Unlike the dungeon, the real world is a one-way bet where your life is the stake. Su Ming absorbs every word as the director looks at him with newfound hope and expectation. He prays this hidden genius will forge a legendary future and become a pillar for the entire world. With a confident smirk, Su Ming shakes the director's hand, offering his sincere gratitude for the guidance. Meanwhile, inside a sprawling mansion in the noble district, a door slams open. A man's frantic voice thunders, calling for Yunqing. The old man rushes to embrace her, relieved she returned safely from the perils of the novice dungeon. He's thrilled she claimed third place, assuming the elite helpers Jiang Lan arranged were responsible for her success. But Yunqing shakes her head. The credit doesn't belong to them, it belongs entirely to a student named Su Ming who saved her. Stunned by this revelation, the old man demands to know everything about this mysterious savior. Yunqing reveals that her sister's hired mercenaries fell straight into a monster trap, nearly costing her her life. However, just as hope was fading, Su Ming appeared. He didn't just save her, he gifted her high-tier gear and carried her through the entire dungeon. Jiang Lan admits she actually tried to recruit Su Ming before the trial even began. But back then, there was a clash, and he refused her offer despite the mountain of gold she promised. Thinking back, she realizes that fate must have a powerful plan for them to meet again in those dark corridors. She insists they owe him a debt of gratitude that simple money can never truly repay. Yunqing's father watches his daughter's admiration for the boy and realizes that Su Ming is a variable he never expected. They must find a way to properly show their gratitude. An awakened of his caliber is someone he simply has to meet, so he orders Jiang Lan to verify his contact info immediately. To celebrate Yunqing's triumphant return from the depths of the dungeon, he makes a grand announcement. He decides to hire the finest world-renowned chef to prepare a feast for everyone that night, right until his phone begins to ring incessantly. Answering it, he coldly states that he is occupied. It does not matter how urgent the meeting is, it will simply have to wait. However, his expression shifts to pure shock at the news. Retreating to a private corner, he demands the caller repeat every single word clearly. The man reports that over the last 2 days, someone sent assassins to systematically eliminate their ranks. The old man is desperate to know who pulled the strings. The answer is chilling. It is the Jiang family. The revelation leaves the old man completely stunned and perplexed. 2 days have passed. Guy is screaming into the phone, announcing that everything is set for their departure to the Heavenly Tower today. She warns him not to act as a lone wolf again. Su Ming simply replies with a calm and steady tone. He understands perfectly. He has spent the last 48 hours preparing everything he needs and promises to regroup with them shortly. After the call ends, the room falls silent. The main character reflects on the Heavenly Tower Council. He recalls Director Wang's words. To enter, he only needs to use the sacred token. It serves as the key to summon a portal to their destination, an entrance restricted only to those who have earned the Council's qualification. Therefore, the time has finally come. Su Ming grips the token and activates it. The system announces that the qualified individual is identified as an intense, blinding radiance erupts. A portal swirls into existence before him. His heart races with excitement, ready to dive headfirst into the brutal challenges of the Heavenly Tower Council. At the base of the legendary tower, Su Ming slowly steps through the shimmering gateway. As he emerges on the other side, he is met by a staggering sight, a massive 100-story monolith reaching for the heavens. This is the sovereign territory of the council. Su Ming gazes up, remembering that in his past life, he only reached this place much later by pure coincidence. As he surveys his surroundings, he takes in the sheer scale of the gathering. Challengers from every corner of the country who obtained tokens are being teleported in. The competition is fiercer than he imagined. He concludes that challenging this place once again will be an exhilarating experience. Reaching the entrance, he scans his token. It takes only a moment before he is successfully identified, and the massive doors groan open. He is greeted by a sea of faces. A system notice instructs all challengers to wait for the opening ceremony in the first-floor hall. Su Ming frowns, realizing the lobby looks nothing like the one from his past life. After a careful look around, he realizes that in this timeline, the facility is exponentially larger than before. Suddenly, Guy and the others arrive, calling out to Su Ming. He chuckles, noting that they seem to have arrived much earlier than expected. Guy huffs with frustration, making it clear they have been waiting for a long time. She demands to know why he never likes acting in a group. Su Ming reminds her that they are all comrades now, and they have already become friends. Guy softens, agreeing that after surviving the hardships of the novice dungeon, they are all brothers in arms and battle companions. Having said that, she gets straight to the point. Only their group from the Juanjing Academy managed to qualify. Since the future is uncertain, sticking together is the only way to ensure they survive. Suddenly, A furious roar echoes through the hall as a man charges straight toward the main character. It is Jiang Tang, throwing a haymaker with every ounce of his strength, but Su Ming dodges with ease. The blonde hothead rages about being left out, while the crowd begins to whisper about the sudden fight. Zhao immediately shouts, demanding to know what Jiang Tang's problem is. Furious, he snarls that this is payback for what happened to Xiaoman. Su Ming hid well during the novice dungeon, but now there is nowhere to run. He sneers, admitting he never expected a guy like him to actually qualify for the Heavenly Tower Council. Guy is intrigued by the mention of Xiaoman and demands to know what really happened between them. Su Ming tells her to stay calm. He turns to Jiang Tang and gives him a final warning. He tells him to stop the drama, emphasizing that they cannot settle this here because combat is strictly prohibited in this area. Right then, a mechanical voice booms, announcing that a conflict incident has been detected. A powerful bolt of lightning strikes Jiang Tang down instantly. The voice makes it clear, no behavior that disrupts the order of the council will be tolerated. On the ground, the blonde glares, promising this isn't over. Su Ming chuckles, his eyes narrowing as he looks upward. The big shots are watching, he notes, knowing that once the Celestial Tower Council concludes, accounts will be settled in full. From the shadows of the distance, a mysterious man keeps a silent, predatory watch on the unfolding scene. While the crowd murmurs about the lack of a proper reception, they fail to realize the truth. They are already under heavy scrutiny. At the Celestial Tower Council, nothing is ever as simple as it appears. With a confident smirk, the main character beckons his companions to follow his lead. Shi Yao hesitates, questioning why they're moving when the ceremony hasn't even begun and the challenge guides haven't been read. Those guides are for rookies, Su Ming explains. The real secret isn't in a book, it's hidden within these seats. Intrigued by his insider knowledge, Shi Yao wonders if this truly is his first time here. Just sit and observe, he instructs. As they settle in, her eyes widen in sheer disbelief at what happens next. The main character reveals the trick. The Celestial Tower's selection system only activates once a challenger takes their seat. System. Welcome, challengers, to the Sky Tower Association's initiation trial, the 100-layer tower challenge. Realizing the secret, everyone quickly sits down, eager to receive their own system notifications. Su Ming focuses. His performance in this 100-layer tower will dictate his ultimate ranking upon entering the game. So, it's a race to the top? Shi Yao asks, her competitive spirit finally igniting. Exactly, the main character confirms. The higher the floor you conquer, the more legendary your final ranking becomes. However, he warns them that if multiple challengers reach the same floor, there's a tiebreaker. The ranking is then decided by the speed of the climb and the sheer difficulty level of the challenges faced. Shi Yao nods, realizing that every second spent in the tower is a precious resource. Precisely, Su Ming says. The association uses this to test our observation and how quickly we adapt to the unknown. They aren't just looking for raw power, they want challengers who can analyze the environment and seize the initiative. He then turns to his three friends. So, shall we climb this tower together like we did in the novice dungeon? Yunqing agrees immediately, believing that following his lead is the safest path to victory, especially since the tokens of the Celestial Tower Association come with such heavy restrictions. In this place, even her family's vast wealth couldn't buy the kind of elite help that Su Ming provides. Suddenly, Yanzi speaks up, choosing not to follow this time. Yunqing is stunned, demanding to know why. In the novice dungeon, Su Ming did all the work, Yanzi admits. We were just taking advantage of his effort. They gained levels, but they relied too heavily on the main character's power, instead of forging their own. He knows Su Ming is destined for greater heights, and he refuses to be the anchor holding him back. He wants to rely on his own strength to train and become a warrior worthy of standing by his side. Shi Yao agrees, realizing they need a true test of fire. The three of us will team up alone, she declares. She turns to Yunqing, seeking her approval for this sudden change in the group's dynamic. Though reluctant to leave the main character, Yunqing finds a new spark of confidence and nods in agreement. I'm in, she says firmly, motivated to see how strong she can become through her own abilities. With the paths finally decided and the deal struck, the group prepares for the trial ahead. Su Ming chooses to face the tower solo, while Yanzi, Shi Yao, and Yunqing enter as a trio. Nearby, the man from earlier revealed to be Li Chengguang watches them with a burning intensity. Recalling his defeat in the novice dungeon, he growls. Our duel isn't over yet, Su Ming, not by a long shot. System. Team options finalized. The 100-layer tower challenge is now commencing. I'll see you at the top, Su Ming says with a wave. I'll be waiting for your results. Go all out, they shout back, promising to give the tower everything they've got. In an instant, Su Ming is enveloped in light and pulled into the heart of the challenge. Notification. You are the first player to enter the 100-layer tower challenge. A wave of nostalgia washes over him. until the system announces his first opponent, the Furious One. A portal tears open before his eyes, and a terrifying creature begins to emerge from the void. But Su Ming freezes. Instead of a monster, he sees a free-range chicken? Why is this different from his past life? Su Ming wastes no time and lunges, seizing the creature by its throat. Tightening his iron grip on the wild bird, he wonders how the first floor could spawn a mere chicken, remembering that in his past life's challenge, the first guardian he encountered was a level 5 beast called the purple-furred evil tiger. But now, the tower's trial has completely diverged from his previous memories. Is the 100-layer tower mocking him as a worthless novice? Realizing its level is unknown, he decides it is better to eliminate it instantly. Suddenly, the beast erupts in rage, leaping high to deliver a powerful kick that sends Su Ming flying. He growls in irritation for underestimating his opponent. His gaze turns deadly serious as he observes the chicken, which charges back at him with explosive force. Meanwhile, inside the Grand Celestial Tower Hall, the opening ceremony for this year's 100-layer Tower Novice Challenge concludes, with the teleportation briefing set to begin shortly. However, a player's eyes widen in shock as a ranking suddenly flickers onto the leaderboard. The crowd erupts. Is someone actually storming through the tower already? Everyone stares as the top spot is claimed by the 10-star genius from Wang City. A notification flashes. Lai Chengguang has cleared the second floor. The crowd murmurs only the Blade Maniac could move this fast. Su Ming is still battling that wild chicken, which refuses to stop its assault, forcing him to retreat to avoid its relentless, head-on strikes.